Clemson football has had great quarterback play for the last decade. It started with Taj Boyd, then went to Deshaun Watson, then Kelly Bryant, then Trevor Lawrence. DJ Uiagalelei was supposed to be the next big thing coming out of high school, but unfortunately, he was pretty underwhelming in his 2 years as a starter, and he is now transferred away to Oregon State. Dabo Swinney, though, has been able to keep the quarterback recruiting momentum going, as he signed five-star quarterback Cade Klubnik in 2022, and has arguably the most underrated quarterback signed for 2023, who will be playing this fall and trying to battle it out for the starting job. In today's video, I want to talk about the quarterback battle that is going on at Clemson. We're going to talk about the guys who are in the running for it, what each one of them brings to the table, and who I think will ultimately win and do the best job for them. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you love college football content, leave a like if you want to support today's video, and turn on notifications so you never miss when I upload. Now, let's go ahead and get started and talk about Clemson's quarterback battle. After a disappointing season in 2021, DJ Uiagalelei was ready to bounce back in 2022. He had a new offensive coordinator and a lot more confidence in his abilities, and while he did end up actually improving in 2022, it seemed that both parties wanted to go in a new direction. He finished with 2,500 passing yards with 22 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, but was he going to be good enough to lead Clemson to the college football playoff and an eventual title? Probably not. He decided to go to Oregon State, and last year we saw a little bit of Cade Klubnik. As a true freshman, he threw for 697 yards with 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He had moments of brilliance and moments of struggle. Klubnik was probably going to be the favorite going into 2022, but he will have competition from a true freshman. I'm going to give you guys information on all the quarterbacks who are fighting for Clemson's starting job, but first, let's hear from today's sponsor. Anyone can find anything on the internet, including your full legal name, your personal email, your home address, phone number, or even your relatives' information. This information is accessible because of data brokers. They profit by selling your information to robocallers, telemarketers, spammers, or anyone else who wants to learn a little bit more about you. That's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, Aura. By using their service, they will identify data brokers that are exposing your information and automatically submit opt-out requests on your behalf. They'll even opt you out of junk mail and telemarketing list. You can use my link, aura.com/ScottFisher, to try 2 weeks for free and see how many data brokers are sharing your information. You can do that by clicking the link down in the description below. Aura also monitors your emails and passwords to see if they're involved in a data breach and exposed in the dark web, and gives you recommendations on what to do. Personally, when I plug my information in, it gave me a list of 60 data brokers who are using my information and 3 data breaches in which my passwords were leaked. Thanks to Aura, I now know about that, but that's not all they can do. Their app also features a VPN, password manager, real-time credit and identity theft monitoring, internet parental controls, and will also protect your devices from malware. Aura has almost every internet safety tool you'll ever need, all inside one simple app. Let Aura do all the hard work of keeping you safe online, and if you sign up right now, Aura will give you a 2-week free trial with my link, and you'll be shocked at just how much of your private information they find and expose over those 2 weeks. Go to aura.com/ScottFisher to start your free trial and find out just how much of your information is out there. So the first guy who is in the running to start for Clemson this fall is Paul Tyson. He is by far third on the depth chart right now, but he does have a small chance at pulling this off. If you're an Alabama fan, you're more than familiar with Tyson, as he was a 4-star recruit coming out of the state. But more notably, he was the great-grandson of Bear Bryant. Because of that, he was pretty much always destined to be an Alabama football player, but he was no slouch either, as he dominated high school football and eventually went on to play for Bama. He was a 4-star recruit and didn't really see a whole lot of time on the field. He appeared in a couple of games before he decided to transfer to Arizona State, where he'd be thrown into a quarterback battle and didn't really perform well. Ultimately, he decided to enter the portal one more time and turned down the chance to play in the SEC to go to Clemson. Right now, it seems Tyson is in a pretty similar situation to Hunter Johnson, where they are just an emergency backup and probably won't really see the field. He also said that he wanted to play for Clemson so he could learn under head coach Dabo Swinney, because he eventually wants to go into coaching. Right now, it seems that Tyson is going to Clemson for more of a long-term move, but if an emergency happens, Tyson will be the guy. It's really going to come down to 2 players though, and that is Christopher Vezina and Cade Klubnik. Let's first talk about the true freshman, Vezina. He hails from Birmingham, Alabama, and blew up into a borderline 5-star prospect over the last few years. He attended Briarwood Christian School, and in his prep career, he went absolutely insane. He passed for 7,220 yards with 59 touchdowns, and also was dominant on the ground. While there, he ran for 29 rushing touchdowns, giving him 88 combined scores in both rushing and passing for his career, making him one of the better quarterbacks in the class of 2023. When it came time to recruiting, he was also a huge deal, as he announced a top 6 of Clemson, Georgia, Auburn, Ohio State, Ole Miss, and Notre Dame. And despite Alabama being his dream offer, the Tide never ended up offering him, so he had to go a different route instead of the school he loved. He ended up committing to Dabo Swinney and Clemson, and in one interview was compared to a Tiger great. Christopher said, quote, "Everybody compares me to Trevor Lawrence, a long, lanky quarterback that can also be pretty mobile. I would agree with that. If you're going to compare my game, it would be to Trevor Lawrence." You might be saying, whoa, that's a lot of hype for this kid, but scouts also agreed that Clemson was getting a good one. According to them, he was a 4-star player, the number 8 quarterback, and the 54th best player in the class of 2023. When I look at Vizina's game, he definitely is someone who I think could be a superstar for the Tigers, but will he be mentally and physically ready next year? That I don't really know. I think the best case scenario would be to have him redshirt and be the backup. I think it'd be wise for Dabo to play him in 4 games and give him ample playing time against the 3 worst schools they play, and then maybe get him in a game against someone good if they are dominating or getting killed. Either way, I think Vizina will end up being the backup, as you're not going to want to waste any of his eligibility. But he could be much better than Cade and could win that starting job and make me look foolish for saying that. That is something I don't really know, but for now, I think Cade Klubnik is going to be the starting quarterback. But who is Cade Klubnik? Well, he is the next great Tiger quarterback. Going back in time, his brother played wide receiver at Yale, but Cade would become a much bigger deal. He'd take over as a junior at Westlake High School, but he did see playing time as a sophomore, and he led his high school to 3 consecutive state championships. Eventually, he was ranked as the top quarterback in the nation by Sports Illustrated, PrepStar, and Rivals.com. He played in 38 career games, going 27-0 as a starter. He threw for 7,426 yards and 86 touchdowns, and only had 7 interceptions. He also ran the ball for nearly 1,300 yards and 31 scores, and had 117 total touchdowns in his Westlake career. He was a big deal, but he was somewhat underrated at first. He was Clemson's second option. 5-star quarterback Ty Simpson was their first guy, but once he committed to Bama, Dabo reached out to Cade, and he committed pretty quickly after that. Klubnik had more than 30 offers and chose the Tigers over Texas A&M, North Carolina, Texas, and Florida. The Athletic put out an article about his commitment, and they had this to say, quote, "Klubnik can spend a year learning from DJ Uyunglele as a true freshman, and then be prepared to take over the program in 2023, assuming DJ has entered the draft." Well, I guess you could say most of that sentence was correct, except DJ's just going to Oregon State. According to 24/7 Sports, Klubnik was ranked as a 5-star recruit, the number 1 quarterback, number 6 player in the class of 2022. Last year, he would come in as the backup, and he'd play in 10 games, starting 1. He completed 61 passes for 697 yards and 2 touchdowns, with 2 more scores on the ground. His best game of the year was by far the ACC Championship game, where he threw for 320 yards, but would then struggle in the Orange Bowl. He was just a true freshman though, but everyone saw how high his ceiling was, and right now, it looks like he's quarterback 1. Most recently in practice, Swinney had this to say, quote, "Cade has just continued to rise from where he was to finish the season, and is now taking control of the offense. Right now it seems that Cade is in the lead to be the starter, but I wouldn't totally rule out Vizina yet. You also can't forget Hunter Helms, who has been the backup for a couple of years now, and is also apparently making strides, but I'd say it's going to come down to Cade and Chris, with Cade winning the job and taking over as the next great Clemson quarterback. But what do you guys think? If you're a Clemson fan, who do you think will win the starting job? What are your expectations for this season? And what player, topic, team, or situation should I cover in my next video? Be sure to let me know down below. Leave a like if you want to support today's video, subscribe if you're new, and check out all my other videos on the end screen. I hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.